Kaya Kwaba Kiji Janang Nunda Mangamang Yuranga Wadani Buja. Hello, good to see you all together on Wadani Buja. Nalak Kadich Wadani Yungang Jali, the traditional owner Wadani Buja. We acknowledge the Wadani people, the traditional custodians of this beautiful Wadani Buja, and pay our respects to elders past and present. Welcome to the meeting of the 30th of April, folks. Thanks for coming to attend. Next, I'll move on to attendance, and I have under 2.1 apologies. I don't have an apology, but just reminding us that we have our CEO attending via Teams. She's had to not be here tonight for another reason, and we do not have any approved leave. So I'll now move on to disclosures of interest. Are there any disclosures, councillors, for any items tonight? No. Okay, we'll move into 4 public questions and 4.1 response to previous public questions taken on notice. So they are normally published in the agenda, of course, but we'll just note, councillors, that an addendum was issued today to us all to include the response to Mr Murray's public question that he asked at the 26th of March Ordinary Council meeting. And that question was in relation to the process of dealing with the annual general electors meeting motions, and you can see, councillors, that that's on the screen there. So it is included in this meeting and will be published when the minutes are published. So we'll now move on to 4.2 public question time. Are there any questions from the public? Yes? Mr Baxter, please come to the front here and state your name and address before you proceed. Thanks.
Yeah, hello, Scott Baxter, 274 Dennis Road, Scott River. I've got a question in regards to the 4.11 on the agenda. It's the response provided by the Manager of Regulatory Services, and it doesn't really answer Gary Buller's question. Mentioned in the response, the Climate Action Plan has resulted in significant budget savings to the Shire, which have then allowed for more financial resources to be put towards other projects, including the types of infrastructure upgrades referred to in the question. My questions are, what infrastructure is the Manager of Regulatory Services referring to? Why have certain basic infrastructure works within the Shire been neglected? In relation to the Wulga power purchase agreements, what is the cost of green energy per kilowatt hour? What is the cost of green energy per kilowatt hour when you're bulk buying through the Wulga power purchase agreement? And what is the standard price per kilowatt hour the Shire would be paying if not purchasing green energy? And how does the money handed to the Shire in the form of grants, in this example $300,000 for the fast charging stations for the Shire's EV fleet, benefit the wider community? How much money overall has the Shire allocated to the various environmental groups also and committees since 2015? And lastly, on a separate point, who did the AMR Shire consult with in order to develop the Walking Together strategy?
Thank you, Mr Baxter, for your various questions. Given the technicality of some of those, I'll take them on notice.
Thank you.
And they will be published in the next agenda.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Are there any other public questions? No? All right, folks, we shall now move into item 5, applications for leave of absence. Are there any applications, councillors? No? We'll move into item 6, which is the confirmation of the minutes of the previous meeting. 6.1 is the Ordinary Council meeting, 26th of March 2025. Do I have a councillor to move a motion? Councillor Binks and Councillor Boland seconding. Councillor Binks, any comment? Okay, Councillor Boland. Okay, councillors, let's put that one to the vote. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Thank you. And we'll now move into deputations, and there are no approved deputations for this evening. Yes?
Special council meeting.
Oh, yes, sorry, Councillor Earl. Would you like to move the minutes of the special council meeting? Because we can, sorry, just referring to the email today, the reason it wasn't put on this agenda because of the timing of the finalisation of the agenda due to the holidays. We have the option, councillors, to either pass the minutes tonight or within statutory timeframes at the next council meeting, so in the May meeting. But it's up to us if you want. Okay, so a seconder, Councillor Binks. Yep, Councillor Earl, do you wish to speak to that? Councillor Binks? No. If there's no one else who wishes to speak to that, we'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? Thanks, councillors. So 2 sets of minutes there passed. Item 7, deputations. There are none, sorry, I'm getting back on track. Item 8 is petitions. So council have been presented a petition. Councillor Muir, you have the petition there. If you could please read it.
Okay.
Thanks.
We, the undersigned, respectfully request that the Shire of Augusta Margaret River revise the proposed layout for the Witchcliff Tennis Court and Car Park project to retain the existing 12 to 14 parking bays and ensure sufficient parking remains available for the community. We believe the current design can be modified to accommodate up to 20 parking spaces, better reflecting the needs of local residents and visitors. Additionally, we urge the Shire to present a reasonable plan for alternative public parking within the town centre to offset any permanent loss of essential parking, with construction to occur within the same calendar year.
Thank you, Councillor Muir. My understanding is, as per our standing orders, we have a couple of options what to do with this, which are in front of us there on the screen. Do I have a councillor to move a motion there in regards to this petition? Councillor Muir, yes?
I would like to put forward a motion that we request the CEO prepare a report on the petition and make that available at the next council meeting.
Yeah. So just to clarify, that is that the petition be received officially and that a report on the petition be prepared and returned to council at the next meeting, so the May OCM.
Right.
Okay. Seconder, I've got Councillor Binks. We'll just let our minute taker catch up with that. Yeah, that's it. Yep, great. So, Councillor Muir, do you wish to speak to that?
No, I think that's fairly self-explanatory. Thank you.
Councillor Binks?
Yeah, no, I think that it's an appropriate response. Anytime any members of the community get together and give us written notification of issues they have, I believe this is a way that we should respond. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Binks. Councillor Boland? Just the 2 names that were on the petition, please. I've got them here if you don't. Okay. It's Henry Lefanu and Andre Chabot. I think that's how you say it. So they were the names that the petition is undersigned by.
Just getting that part of the standing orders. So if that's satisfying the requirements, then I'm satisfied.
Thank you. Any other comments on that item, on that motion? Anyone wish to speak for or against that motion? I will just check, sorry, not to complicate things, but the presentation of the petition is required to be in a certain format, and we're satisfied. I'm quite sure the administration have checked that they're satisfied that that is in the prescribed form. So we can move on, I believe. Yep, you have.
Yes, I'm just looking at the presentation of petitions that we can find in the reading of petition. So.
Yep, great. Okay, so if there's no one who wishes to speak for or against that further, we'll put that to the vote. Councillors, all those in favour? Thank you. Look forward to seeing that report in May. Item 9 is Shire President announcements. Councillors, we're now in the Noongar season of Deejaran. Is that how we say it, Councillor Muir? I hope I got that right. A time marked by the cooler weather, green landscapes and dewy mornings. It's actually one of my favourite times of the year, bringing a real sense of renewal to the land. In regards to the recent Anzac Day services, it was so wonderful to see such strong community turnout at both the Margaret River and Augusta Anzac Day services. Thank you to the RSL, the volunteers and the staff who helped deliver such meaningful commemorations on this really important day for Australia and New Zealand. Supporting these traditions, I think it really remains an important part of who we are as a community. And I really noted at the dawn service in Augusta, there was actually quite a lot more families and younger people in attendance, so that was wonderful. And it did rain, so that was a bit unfortunate, but it cleared up. Just a reminder that May is shaping up to be a big event month. We've got the Margaret River Pro welcoming the world's best surfers to the region, which is such a great showcase of our region on the world stage. We have the Margaret River Readers and Writers Festival commencing this Friday, launching this Friday with our Much Love Festival, bringing together writers, artists and thinkers creating creativity and culture. And I encourage you all to check out the diverse schedule of events. The CEO and I will attend a Tourism Connect Industry Sundowner next week, strengthening our ties with the Tourism Council of WA and the Margaret River Bustleton Tourism Association and our tourism sector. And finally, the Margaret River Ultra Marathon. So we'll welcome incredible athletes and visitors for the Ultra Marathon in May, highlighting our region as a premier destination for adventure and events. So I encourage you all to enjoy what Budja is offering and tread lightly on country and continue showing the spirit of respect and connection that defines our special community here. I'll now move into item 10, which is questions from members, which due notice has been given and there are none. So councillors will now consider our reports of committees and officer reports, and the first one is 11.2.1, the Bushfire Advisory Committee meeting on the 19th of January 2025. And just to clarify, as we discussed today in our briefing, the administrative issue that was made where the first and the second officer recommendation were different, but the final one in our agenda, the bottom one, which is the one that we may or may not consider now, is the officer's recommendation, which is at the end of the report, just to confirm that is the correct one. So councillors on the screen there, that is the officer's recommendation. Do I have a councillor to move a motion, and which one? Thank you, Councillor Muir.
Thank you. I'd like to move the motion as written, please.
Thank you. And a seconder, please, councillors. Councillor Keno. Councillor Muir.
Yeah, I would like to just note that I appreciate the recommendations from the Bushfire Advisory Committee. It's made up of people with a lot of experience and knowledge, and I think it's useful that we're given further information to inform our decision making. Ultimately, often we are not the final decision maker, particularly in regards to subdivisions and large developments. So I do think it's important to recognise, and perhaps it's an opportunity for advocacy and for the Advocacy Committee to look at how we advocate better on recognition from state government bodies that we are in an area of extreme bushfire risk, and there needs to be appropriate consideration in planning of our risk. And I think the more that we put forward from varying degrees and perspectives that risk and the considerations that need to be made, the better. So I do commend this to my councillors before me.
Thank you, Councillor Muir. Councillor Keno. Any other councillor wish to speak against or for this motion? Okay, we'll put that to the vote, councillors. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the late item we received, 11.2.2, the RFT for the construction at the Eurogenda Turner Holiday Park of the road network there. So, councillors, we have a officer's recommendation there in front of us, referring to a confidential attachment. So, do I have a councillor to move that motion? Councillor Earl and a seconder. Councillor Daff. Councillor Earl. No. Councillor Daff. Anyone wish to speak against this motion or for it? I'll just. Oh, did you wish to? Yeah. Councillor Muir.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I'm really looking forward to seeing this happen. I think it's really important for safety, for amenity, and the caravan park is, I guess, one of the jewels in the crown, and it's really important that we attend to it. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And finally, just I'm pleased to see that we're progressing with this one. It has been on the schedule of works for a few years and had unfortunately unsuccessful tender processes, which led to us not proceeding with this. So I'm pleased to see this on the agenda tonight. And, you know, as a really valuable asset for us in terms of it being, you know, generating income, it's important that we maintain it at a level that you know, the community and the users expect, and it's a much needed project, so I'm happy to support this. Councillors, let's put that to the vote. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Next item is 11.3.1, which is our submission on the regulations relating to CEO matters and online registers. So this is obviously initiated by the department wanting our submission, and that's what we're dealing with, councillors. So do I have a councillor to move a motion here? No. Councillor Binks, thank you. And a seconder? Councillor Muir. Councillor Binks?
Yeah, I'm happy to move the officer's recommendation as written.
Councillor Muir?
Yeah, I will just take this opportunity to say thanks you to the staff for their work on this. It is concerning to me that the government is continually trying to push forward further regulations that take power away from local governments, and I think that takes power away from local communities, and we're bearing the brunt of that, and there's considerable extra workload for our staff without commensurate funding available, and I think it's a concerning development.
Thank you. And just to add to that, I would like to see these same regulations and requirements for state government, actually. You know, this is an impost on us, and I feel that other levels of government should have this same level of extra regulation. So, you know, another impost on us, but happy to pass this submission as suggested. Anyone else wish to speak for or against this? No, we'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. 11.3.2 is our council decision action list from July 24 to December 24. Do I have a councillor to move a motion there, please? Councillor Boland moved and seconded. Councillor Daff, do you wish to speak to that, Councillor Boland? The officer's recommendation?
I think the recommendations will put in the agenda.
Councillor Daff? If no one else wishes to speak to this, then we'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. The next item, 11.3.3, has been pulled from the agenda by the CEO due to an administrative error. So we'll move now on to 11.3.4, which is the Local Government Elections 2025 method and responsibility of conducting the election. So, councillors, we have a motion there on the screen, officer's recommendation. Do I have a councillor to move this? Councillor Earl and Councillor Binks to second it. Councillor Earl.
Best of luck.
Is that it? Councillor Binks.
Yeah, listen, this is the beginning of the process, really, and it's an exciting process that gives members of the opportunity, or members of the community, the opportunity to get together and represent the community. Listen, I know it's a matter of process, but I'm just excited by this opportunity that people have. So, yep, I agree, Councillor Earl. Best of luck.
Any other councillors wish to make a comment, speak for or against this item? Councillor Boland. Any other councillor wish to make a comment? Councillor Dath.
I think Councillor Boland covered most of it off, but yes, it was quite an interesting read for me how much money this actually costs the ratepayers to elect the council. So I did kind of read it thoroughly and think maybe we could be holding it ourselves, but I have decided that the recommendation from staff is better because of the postal votes, even though the cost, because we do have a lot of our electors live outside our shire. So I just hope we have a good turnout this time and that we somehow manage to encourage and educate our community to participate in the election, so we have a council that represents our whole shire. Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak for or against this item? I'll just conclude in that, first of all, Councillor Boland, I wouldn't assume anything about improved service. I'm happy, of course, to move this in that conducting the election via postal, it makes sense. Unfortunately, as we all know, it's still not a compulsory vote for our community, but historically, we have had a better rate of participation and voting in our community than other rural communities, and that shows that our community do care and they're keen to be involved in their local governance. And I guess an opportunity to encourage potential candidates out there that, really encouraging them to potentially meet up with current councillors and, really get an idea of what the role involves, the time requirement, the commitment that you're making if you do get elected, and that there's plenty of support there. And really encouraging diversity on our council is really such a great benefit for our community. Just quickly, I went to a Advocacy WA disability awareness workshop last night, which was really interesting, around learning about the facts within our community there's various diversity, but there is 20% of Australia's population identifies as having a disability. And, you know, that is, so therefore, in our election process, I would hope and encourage the WAEC to ensure that the provision of the application and the nomination process is accessible and open to all Australians. So just something, I guess, to be on the radar of, yes, encouraging diversity of candidates to nominate for our council. So happy to move this motion as it's written. Shall we put it to the vote? All those in favour? Passed unanimously. 11.3.5, list of payments for March 2025. Councillors, we have an officer's recommendation there. Do I have a councillor to move it? Councillor Earl and a seconder. Councillor Keno. Councillor Earl. Councillor Keno. If there's no one else that wishes to speak for or against that, we'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. 11.3.6 is our financial activity statement for February 2024. A councillor to move that recommendation. Councillor Earl and Councillor Boland. Councillor Earl? No. Councillor Boland? No. If no one else wishes to speak for or against that, we'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. We now move into sustainable economy and committees, and we have one item here, 11.4.1, the minutes of the grants committee, which is from the 11th of March 2025 was the last minutes. So, councillors, we have a motion in front of us here on the screen, and part 3 of this motion requires that we insert an extra member as on our committee there. So we just need to put a name in that before we can move that motion. Yes?
Sorry, as a proxy on that committee, I'm happy to step up into that position.
Yep, great. Thank you, Councillor Keno. So we'll put that in 3 there, appoints Councillor Keno. Sorry, we'll get a mover for this motion first before we insert that name, sorry. So Councillor Dath and Councillor Muir. And Councillor Keno has, put forward her name there in point 3. So we'll just deal with this one. Yes, sorry, Councillor Earl.
Yeah, I'm a member of the committee, but I'd like to resign from the committee. I'm finding it very difficult to attend the meetings as I'm in Perth every second week, and I think it's unfair on the others and the proxies. So I'll resign from that committee. Thank you. Okay,
thank you, Councillor Earl. Councillors, I think the best way to deal with it is with an amendment to this motion. So what we will be required to do is appoint another member in lieu of Councillor Earl resigning, and additionally a proxy, in that Councillor Keno has gone from a proxy now to a member. So, yes, Councillor Binks.
Yeah, I'd like to move an amendment and nominate myself as a member of the committee and as a proxy, Councillor Muir.
Councillor Muir.
Yep.
Okay, councillors. So, Councillor Binks to move that amendment, and a seconder, Councillor Earl. Yep. Councillor Binks, do you wish to speak to that amendment?
No, I don't. No need to.
Councillor Earl? No. All right, councillors. Does anyone else wish to speak for or against this? No, we'll put it to the vote then for this amendment. All those in favour? That's carried unanimously. So that now becomes a part of the substantive motion there. So we have appointed Councillor Keno and Councillor Binks as 2 new members to the Grants Committee, and as the proxy in the act of Councillor Keno going from a proxy to a member, we now have Councillor Muir for the committee. So we've filled our committee. We are ready to go. Does anyone wish to speak to this one? Yes, Councillor Dath.
Yeah, I'd just like to say that I'm happy to see these changes and welcome the new members of the committee. yeah, needing that extra member just to make sure that it was easier to have a quorum and that you know, the decision making was always, you know, a bit more rounded than rather than if there was a member or two away. So yeah, I'm really happy with these changes and I'm really happy to see these new members on the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Dath. Councillor Earl.
Yeah, thanks very much, and my apologies to the previous councillors on the committee and to the staff for my inability to attend, but this inability is going to continue for the next couple of months for me, so I thought appropriate time tonight was get off, so yeah, well done to the new committee, and yeah, keep up the good work. Thanks.
Any other councillor wish to speak for or against this item? I think this is great, councillors. This is a real sensible move to add an extra member on and that proxy. It's really important, as you alluded to, Councillor Dath, this grants committee, you know, we make really important decisions for our community, so there needs to be great rigour and participation. So I'm really pleased to see this motion. Let's vote on that, councillors. All those in favour? That's carried unanimously. Item 12 is motions from members of which previous notice has been given. There are none. 13 motions for consideration at the next meeting. There are none that I know of. We do not have any urgent business of an urgent nature or confidential business. So, councillors, I close this meeting at 6:01 p.m. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming, community members.